Hello, peeps. How are you today? I am feeling everything today. Like, I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm premenstrual and like all swollen up, and you can see it on my eyes. I feel angry, irritated, sad, like all of it, and I have this like, I just want to run away from it and just do something and like toughen up and harden, and like I don't want to soften into it. So I'm reminding myself to breathe and stay with what is going on. Also doing some work here in my garden, like very gently and slowly. And I usually don't show up when I'm feeling like this. I don't show up when I am angry, or I don't show up when I am feeling bad. And today I just wanted to show up as I am and like not really give a fuck about how the outly appearance is, and just come and share what I wanted to share. And this is something that I've been seeing like a lot for a long time, in all kinds of, like, everything is itching today, in all kinds of communities, and it's this war between like the narcissist and the empath, and the empath being the victim and the narcissist being the predator, and everyone is like dehumanizing and hating on narcissists and like making them into these evil monsters. And I want to kind of question that. I want to get in there and give another point of view, because it's not helpful to anyone to have this victim predator game, this play going on. It's not healing for either side to be in this victim role or be in this predator role. It's not serving anyone, and it's not really the truth. Then, like, both roles, an unhealed empath is a defense mechanism, and so is a narcissist. Like, a narcissist is filled of shame and guilt and self-hate, and that's why they have this like outer mask of being superior and grand and big, but what they really are feeling inside, whether they are aware of it or not, is just shame and hate and blame, and like they really don't like themselves. So people feel like all narcissists love themselves. They don't. It's like, it's a mask. It's a defense mechanism based on shame and hate, and feeling like they always have to perform and be somebody else. And an unhealed empath, like an unaware empath, is just really someone that takes everything that people do as their own. I want to explain this in a better way, but if someone gets angry, then they feel entitled to like be angry, you know. If someone gets sad, they feel sad, and like I personally know all of this because I can relate to both archetypes of both the empath and the narcissist. Like, I believe that we all have narcissistic tendencies. There are few people who are like true narcissists, but we all have narcissistic tendencies in some way or another, and we all have empathic tendencies. We are all empathic beings. We all feel empathy, unless we have like a really, 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 really big disorder. But other than that, we all feel empathy. We are wired to feel empathy. So it's not like some special people are empathic and some special people are not. Like, we all feel empathy. But an unhealed empath will take what somebody is feeling as their own, and not stay with it, but project it out. So, like, a narcissist will take their hate and feelings out on you, and they will play all these mind games, and they will make everything your fault. So they react outwards. And the empath will internalize everything and like hate on themselves and make everything their fault. And both of this, as I said, are defense mechanisms. Both of this are trauma-based defense mechanisms. You learn these ways to survive. It's not that the one is evil and the other is a victim. It's that they are both in this dynamic, playing out roles and showing each other their wounds and their pains and mirroring everything to each other so that they can actually heal. But if you're not aware, and if someone just tells you that you're evil and bad, well, then it's just adding up on the shame that you're already feeling. It's just making you believe that you're bad and broken and unable to heal. And if you're an empath, then it's just making you feel like you're a victim and all of this was done to you, and you have no responsibility whatsoever in what's happening. So I'm not trying to justify anything. I just want to get that hateful. I'm not justifying any behavior that is hurting somebody else. I'm just trying to give a wider perspective. This play that is going on, that's been playing out in our world for like thousands of years, of the victim and the predator, and show how we can have like a broader and more whole view of both sides. So if the narcissist is acting out and taking everything out on you and telling you that you're this and that and that you're not worthy and that you're this and that and that and this and that, first of all, what they are saying is everything that they are feeling about themselves. So they can't handle what is going on inside of them, all the hate, all the shame, all the guilt, all the pain, and they are taking it out on you. And I'm not saying that this is okay. I just don't want my words to be twisted. I'm not saying that this is okay, but this is what's going on. Okay, this is just what's going on. They are taking out their pain on you. They are like in so much pain that they can't deal with it, and they are taking it out on you. And the empath is then internalizing all of that and feeling like there's something wrong with me. So both sides are feeling shame. Both sides are feeling self-hate, but they're reacting to it differently. They are showing it differently, and they are processing it differently. But they are both like in the core are feeling the same things and having very similar wounds, but they are coming out in a different way. So then the empath is internalizing that and taking everything that the narcissist is saying as truth. And the thing here is that if the narcissist would tell you like you're a green tree, you're like this green tree, or like you're a stupid bush, like I don't know, something just ridiculous, that wouldn't hit you because it's not something that you already feel about yourself. So if the narcissist is telling you that you're unworthy and shit and bad and like all that things, if you wouldn't be feeling that about yourself, you wouldn't be reacting to it. And first of all, you wouldn't stay with someone that is treating you this way if you felt good about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't accept that someone is speaking to you this way and rationalizing why they're doing it. Like you would be, no, I'm not accepting this. I'm not going to go through this. And I know that it's a hard thing because it's this childhood traumas that are keeping us with people like this. So I'm not shaming people who are staying with a narcissist. I'm just trying to point out some facts and some inner things that are going on in this dynamic. I have like first hand experience of all of this from both sides. So I understand. Like I have been the narcissistic one and I have been the empathic one. And that's also something I want to speak into later. Like we have both sides. But if you wouldn't feel that about yourself, if you wouldn't already have those thoughts and beliefs and feelings about yourself, you wouldn't feel victimized and hurt by what the narcissist is saying. And of course, at times, we will pick on each other and like take our pains out on each other and get triggered. Like, that's just human. We are all on this path and journey on different levels together. We're all doing our best with what we have. But if someone is like constantly picking you down and abusing you, that is not okay, and you wouldn't stay in that if you did feel worthy of what you truly want, which is love and belonging and connection and being seen and heard and understood. You wouldn't stay in that. So what I'm saying is that I'm not trying to shame empaths. I'm not trying to shame anyone or guilt anyone or like anything like that. But I want to say that we are 100% responsible for 50% of any dynamic. So we are responsible for what we bring into a relationship. And the point of this video for me was really to stop dehumanizing and demonizing the narcissist and the narcissistic traits, because it's already so filled with shame. If you're going to add shame into that, you will just make a narcissist even more narcissistic. Like, what narcissistic people really need is extreme amounts of love and empathy and understanding, and not a lot, like not being okay with them abusing people, not not that at all, but bringing them back into what's going on inside of them, and showing them what's inside and bringing them into like back into their own mechanisms and with empathy and love, and not shaming them, not hating them, not telling them that they are evil and bad, because that's what they're already feeling. That's why they're acting out. And the empaths need to stop being seen as victims and stop being seen like this, oh, poor you, like pity party kind of mentality. And I'm not saying that you're supposed to shove your feelings down and not process what you've been through. I'm not saying that. I never say that. So whatever your like interpretation is, I'm never saying that. I'm always for feeling everything that you're feeling, being present with everything that you're feeling, being open to everything that you're feeling, but not taking it out on others. And of course, that will happen sometimes. It's okay. But what I'm saying is becoming aware of your inner world, your inner self, and taking accountability and responsibility for what you are bringing into any relationship and any dynamic, and changing that, and not judging yourself and hating yourself for it and the mistakes that you have done, but taking responsibility from a place of acceptance and wanting to do things differently out of love, out of understanding, out of compassion. So I'm never saying that you're not supposed to feel what you're feeling. Like if you have been abused, there will be wounds, there will be pain there. And of course, you need to process all of that. But being a victim in all of that is not going to help you heal. It's not going to help you empower yourself. You will just stay feeling sorry for yourself, and you won't be able to heal the wounds that come with all of that. Because the truth is that no matter what is happening in our lives, and no matter what we are attracting to ourselves consciously or unconsciously, it's all for us. It's all happening so that we can become aware and see the truth of what is going on. So the victim mentality is holding you back from healing. And the superior mentality is also holding you back from healing. Both these roles, both these archetypes of the narcissist and the empath are defense mechanisms that need to be met in a whole new way. And the thing is that often, have you read any of H. Tudor's books on narcissism? No, I have not. No. Are they good? Like, are they read worthy? Like right now I'm taking a break from reading and taking in information because I always like to learn. Yes, they are very good. Okay, I'm gonna check them out and see what they're all about. But yeah, I'll just check them out. But I'm taking a break from taking in information like in big loads because I always love to learn, and I sometimes get like I have this tendency of taking too much in. So I just want a break. But I will check that book out. Thank you. But yeah, the like. Oh, okay, that's really interesting. The author is a diagnosed narcissist himself. Yeah, that's really interesting. I will totally check that out. And what is his perspective? Can you tell me a little bit about that? Like, what is his message? But yeah, so like I said, this video was with the intention to bring more empathy to both sides and see how it's a dynamic and see how it's all playing out for us, and how it's showing us how we are feeling powerless and how we are feeling hurt and our wounds, and it's really all for us, even though it doesn't feel that way sometimes. And I sure know this. Like, I have days when I'm totally like pity party victim, just like, why is this happening to me? And then I get over it. But we all have those tendencies in different degrees. He lets you know how to contact with a narcissist, how to see his gaslighting techniques. Yeah, and that is really, yeah, all of the manipulation methods they use. Yeah, and that is really something that you need to be aware of, and you're not supposed to like buy into those games. You're not supposed to stay and be like, oh, I'm feeling all this understanding for you, so I will allow you to abuse me. That's not what I'm saying in any shape, form, or way. I'm saying that you can leave a narcissist and see their like craziness and their mind games, but making them into the devil and hating on them and blaming them for everything will not help you heal your own wounds, and it will not help the narcissist to heal their wounds as well. Not that that is your responsibility, like in any way. It's not. You're not responsible for healing another person. But what I'm saying is that we can support each other in our healing instead of making it harder. And we are making it harder if we are shaming and blaming and hating on each other. So I'm not saying that you're supposed to just have this like blind empathy and blind compassion that is just really self-destruction. I'm saying that leave, be aware, take yourself first, always, always, but just don't dehumanize the other person. We are so conditioned to dehumanize people that we don't agree with. We are so conditioned to dehumanize other people's like ways of expressing, like, just we are so conditioned to dehumanize each other. If someone doesn't agree with you, if someone has a different opinion, if someone is expressing something differently, we go into attacking and we dehumanize that person, especially on the internet, when we feel like we can just, you know, take a step back and not see that person in their eyes. And it's not natural. It's not natural for us to do so because we are empathic. He also teaches us to dim our empathy, learn to establish boundaries, and never allow any narcissist to abuse us ever again. Yeah, because that's the thing with being empathic. Like, when you are empathic in this world, you're often like, you learn to be a people pleaser and you learn to set yourself to the side and you take on little of, like I said, this victim and martyr role. Like, and it's really important that you're empathic from a true place, like from true empathy that is grounded within yourself, in your self-worth, and not empathic with guilt and shame. Because if you are an empath and you're wired to be a people pleaser, and this is your defense mechanism, like people pleasing is a defense mechanism, then you will act out of empathy, but it's not really empathy, it's this like guilt and shame within yourself. So you're trying to get, like, if someone is hating on you, if someone is bad or like not, I don't know how to phrase this, but if someone is just abusive of you, a person with that like fake empathy will then try to do everything so that the abusive person likes you, because they have this like this need, this hard need to be liked by the people who are dismissive of them. And that is out of this feeling of I'm not worthy, there's something wrong with me, I'm shameful, I'm bad. So they need other people to validate that this is not so. And it's like it's this triggering dynamic that is really painful, but the only way that both the narcissist and the empath knows how to respond to things. And this is because of childhood dynamics. Like, if you grew up with a narcissist as a parent, that's the way you know of love. Like, that's the way you know to be loved. So that's what you're playing out until like you break that pattern. And if you had a really empathic parent, then you could, like, unhealed empathic, I want to be clear with that, then it could be that you always saw your parents sacrifice and give away everything and just like be completely neglecting of the self and just always acting out of guilt and shame. Um, so both, I kind of lost my track a little bit there because like yeah, like when I'm sick, my mind is not there. But yeah, like they both come from the childhood, they both form in the childhood, and how we respond to each other is the way we responded to our parents. So really taking our empathy back and being true with our empathy means that we first need to heal our empathic selves. And that means that we stop associating empathy with taking other people before ourselves. Because in people pleasing, we have this really deep conditioning that we don't matter, that we're not allowed to take up space, we're not allowed to take care of ourselves, we're not allowed to have needs and boundaries, and we're supposed to just live for other people. So the empath's road of healing is actually to be a little more narcissistic, not in a like unhealthy way, but to be more selfish, to be more caring about the self, to be more in touch with the self, to be more there for the self in a aligned and healthy way. And the narcissist path to healing is to be more empathic and understanding and and true, and aware. So both paths need awareness, but it's like they need a little dose of each other. That's why it's so triggering to be in that dynamic, because your wounds are always on display. Like the internalized stuff that the empath has is always brought up in this cruel and hard way. And like the the evilness and shame and the hate that the narcissist feels is just always like there when they see the empath caring, and they can use that, and they see it as a weakness, because they see it as a weakness inside themselves. The caring and the loving and the compassion, they see it as a weakness within themselves. So when they see it in other people, they see it as, okay, I can use that. I can use that for myself. I can use that to get what I need, because both these archetypes are trying to get their needs, their unmet childhood needs met, and they do it in whatever way they were taught to do it in. So they need a dose of each other. That's really what it is. It's like this split within themselves, and they need a dose of what the other person has. So the empath needs a dose of narcissism, not in an unhealthy way, but in a way that is true of like the self. I'm going to be more selfish and care for myself, take myself first, not take other people's needs before my own. I'm not going to sacrifice myself to be liked or loved, because I don't really feel it anyway when I'm doing that. And the narcissist needs to take a dose of the empath and learn to care more about others, see other people's perspectives, be aware of how they are projecting their own wounds onto other people, as well as the empath. They need that as well. And like it's that dynamic and play that I'm trying to show here, that we can't dehumanize anyone if we want a better world, if we want a healed, whole world. We need to see how that other person's behavior is triggering us, what that is triggering within ourselves, and heal from that place and stop blaming and pointing fingers and trying to find someone that we can just like blame everything on, and some like this group or this people, they are what's wrong with the world, they are the problem, this people, this group is what's wrong with the world. That will never heal the world. it just won't. We need to take responsibility for ourselves, see how we are the problem, and live in an aligned way, and show up for healing, show up for truth, show up for ourselves, show up as we are, and have difficult conversations, have uncomfortable conversations, and question what doesn't feel right, you know? It's so easy to just, when a lot of people are saying something and doing something, it's so easy to get swept up in that and be like, oh, now I'm going to follow this trend and now I'm going to believe this thing. We need to dare to stay in ourselves, even when it's not in alignment with whatever the group, the mass is saying. Like, we're not here to be sheep. To we're not here to just give our power away and agree with anyone for the sake of keeping peace or for the sake of belonging to a group, because we don't really feel like we belong. We don't really feel like we're being seen when we're not allowing ourselves to speak our truth. And what I'm saying here today is something that many people don't agree with. And always, when you're talking about taking responsibility for yourself and seeing your part of the dynamic, people get offended because it's so much more comfortable to stay in the victim role, and it's so much more comfortable to stay in the I'm better than you role, or like the high horse. I know, I've been there, like, and I still fall into that. I totally understand that. And it's not about perfection, but it's about taking responsibility. It's about taking responsibility for ourselves and stop pointing fingers, stop blaming, and stop dehumanizing. So really, this video is like keyword dehumanizing. We need to stop that. We need to really see the pain of people for how the pain of people is. And what I mean by that is see that everyone is hurting, even if they are showing it in a really fucked up way, which we most often are. We're doing it out of hurt. It's not because we are bad and evil. That's just like how we were taught to deal and be in the world. Like, it's out of pain. It's like a cry for help. And not to say that we can save people or heal people or like chase after people that can't see their own patterns. No, that's not possible. Like, if someone wants to heal, they need to be ready to heal. So all that I'm really saying, like, to just summarize it and to make it real simple, is to stop dehumanizing each other, to have understanding and compassion for others, and also for ourselves, for how these parts are showing up in our own selves, and have compassion towards all the greed and selfishness and hate and like all all the things that are coming up inside of us, and all the ways we betray ourselves, and all the way that we please and give away. Like, we need to have empathy for all of that, and not shame ourselves and not shame others for their trauma responses. There's so much shaming for people's trauma responses. How is that going to help anyone? It's an outdated way that is not serving. Shaming and pushing and criticizing will not create long lasting change. It won't. It just won't. It won't help people heal. So stop blaming, stop dehumanizing, stop hating, and get curious. Get really curious. Start digging, start going into things with more love and openness, even if it's going against every belief and every just way that you've been seeing things for such a long time, begin to be more open to different approaches and seeing things in many ways. And take yourself first. Take yourself first. Be true to yourself. Be true to your own self. Whatever that is for you, you know, like don't conform to a group to belong, because you will never feel like you belong. When you can be a part of a group and stay in yourself at the same time and be like, no, I don't agree with that. I don't need to agree with everything within a group to be a part of a group. Like, we are diverse, we are different. That's not how it's supposed to be. We're not supposed to be the same and have the same opinions and just, you know, agree with everything to be liked. If someone is threatened, feel, I just can't get the words out. If someone feels threatened by your opinions, that's their problem. Like, it's really their problem. And yeah, of course, it's painful and hard, but we need to practice being true to ourselves, even if other people don't agree, and even if other people find us loud and outrageous and weird. Just like, it's okay. We are not defined by other people. We never are. So let's just be kinder to each other. Let's just be more understanding, and let's just be more open and curious. Let's just meet each other with more of that and ourselves in whatever way we can. And that's what I had to say for this time. I will make another video now, and I'm sitting here, but it will be a little different topic, or a much different topic, but falling into what I've been talking about here now. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for engaging, and thank you for giving me this book. I will check it out. It sounds really interesting. And I wish you all love, support, and like just healing in the world. I wish you all the healing. Well, thank you. You're great too. Thank you. I wish you just all the healing in the world. I wish you all the support on your journey. I wish you all the everything that you need on your journey to heal. I really wish you all of that. I know how challenging this journey can be and how much it takes to be true to ourselves, to face our shadows, to live in our truth. So I applaud you with all myself for being on this journey, and I want to thank you so much for supporting my channel and being here, and sending you all the love and support. Bye, I love you, baby.